Hey Beans, and welcome to an Animal Jam conspiracy video. I know you guys love these, so I have prepared probably my favorite Animal Jam conspiracy ever for you guys today. Now, this is one of those conspiracies that's so big, I never could have thought of it on my own, so it's a combination of a ton of different people and a few thoughts of my own added onto those people, but most of the credit goes to those amazing beans who email me all their really cool theories, because you guys just blow my mind with how good you are at this stuff. So, seriously, shout out to everyone who helped me with this video. You will be mentioned at some point in this video. So let's get right into it. I'm sure you're all familiar with the Lost Temple of Zios, and that big statue of Zios right in the middle that everybody knows about, but you probably never think about. It's just sitting there in the middle, and it's just kind of always been there, but it really hasn't. And that's something that a lot of people don't know. But there used to actually be a monkey statue there back in the beta, but it was removed as soon as the beta ended, and now it's just been replaced with this Temple of Zios kind of thing, and there's Zios there and all that kind of cool stuff. So the question is, what happened to the monkey statue? And why is there a Zios statue there now? Well, actually, the answer to why there's a Zios statue there is actually quite concrete, and we pretty much know, and Animal Jam has given it to us. In their little cutscenes from their little animated bean things, well, they actually show that when the Phantoms were taking Zios, Zios' mask fell into that little place, and it's been there ever since. And I guess no one wants to disturb it because he's literally like the most holy god in all of Animal Jam, so let's not, like screw with his grave. But Julian, stop! The question is, where's the monkey statue, and what's underneath Zios' statue? Well, there are two theories that have been offered by these amazing beings with a little bit of additional information and conspiracies that I've added on my own. So the first one comes from Lone Wolf 67544. You're not gonna remember that. It's got zeros in it. It's right there. It's just that's the username, okay? Well, basically, Lone Wolf theorized that this was actually a phantom portal underneath. And hear me out. There's more logic to this than just when you sleep, phantoms come out. Well, first of all, it makes sense with the fact that the video shows Zios' mask falling into that place where we now have a statue. Well, it makes sense that if the phantoms were moving into that portal to go back to their homeland after they conquered Jamal and left, that they would bring Zios with them into that portal. And if that's where we see Zios fall, then wouldn't it make sense that that's where the portal that they took him through was? I mean, I feel like that's very logical, unless somehow his mask fell off there and then they kept going, which I don't see happening, even though in the video they do keep marching along, because we don't see them carrying anything, and it looks like Zios' mask just comes out of nowhere. And the other thing that really points to this is the adventure base camp. As you know, you can get to it by going around the Lost Temple of Zios into that little cave. But what the heck? How is there that giant space of land right there when you're going into a cave? Like, how is there enough? There's like ocean lands and like flying lands and just islands and everything. There's shops and adventures and phantoms and tons of people. How is that all there? Well, obviously, that's not underground. There's light coming in, you can play the Forgotten Desert, you can be a flying animal, there are cliffs and mountains and crazy things. It's a portal. It's a portal, Beans. That would make sense. And we can't go directly through that phantom portal because Zios' statue is on there. And again, big, super powerful god, like voodoo and superstition, and don't touch a god's grave, okay? So it would make sense that we made this alternate route where you'd have to go underground through a cave to get into the portal, and then as a result, go towards the Phantom Badlands. Because I won't go into this in this video because I'm sure you guys have already seen it, like good beans you are, and you watch all my videos every day at 7 p.m. Eastern. But I have theorized in a video with what I feel like is a lot of evidence, enough to convince myself, and hopefully you guys, that the Adventure Base Camp is down here in this little section of the Play Wild map that Animal Jam put in its treasure hunts, and showed us a little bit more of the map than they might on regular Animal Jam. And so that is basically where the adventure camp is. And if you don't believe me, go ahead and look up my video about the Phantom Fortress coming to Jamal and listen to me rant about that stuff forever. But if you do believe me, let's keep going. Well, in that video, I talk about how that is right next to the Phantom Badlands. And if you're in the adventure base camp, you can actually see the Phantom Badlands. And wouldn't it make sense that this adventure portal was right next to the Phantom Badlands? That's where it would lead. And we know that in order to gain power of lands, the alphas have to go in and defeat phantoms. So wouldn't it make sense that a bunch of alphas like went through a phantom portal and then came out on the other side, beat a bunch of phantoms, get the boys, they beat all the boys, and they conquered it for us. And now we're getting more and more and more adventures. And you may not know this, but every time a new adventure is added from like the last 3 adventures on, a little bit of that phantom forest that's in the bottom corner actually recedes, and we get more space to ourselves. So it seems as though this was a phantom land. We went through the phantom's portal that they used to attack us, and then we expanded our own land inside of their own land. We're kind of like going from the inside out by using a portal. Or maybe, you know how I said alphas conquer lands? Well, maybe the alphas can take portals from the phantoms. and then they take the portal, and the little area that surrounds the portal all of a sudden no longer becomes a phantom habitat, because in order to transport themselves, phantoms have to go through a portal. Phantoms can't like reproduce naturally. They have to like create themselves in factories and things like that, and the Phantom Fortress. And that was the whole trouble with the underwater adventures, is phantoms don't actually just like have babies. They just like get produced in factories. And so if you can't ship those phantoms across the land through a portal because it's been captured by the alphas, well, you can't get any more phantoms over there. And eventually the alphas will take it over because they own the portal and they can send their animals through there to go on adventures. And if that's true, is that maybe where den portals come from? Branching off a little bit here, but it makes sense because they're in the Chamber of Knowledge next to all of those alpha statues. I mean, it seems logical that these would be phantom portals that were converted into Jama animal portals, and now we can use them for our own good. You know, as like a nice homely device, a little convenient bean that you can use to move between dens. Now, the big argument against this that I'm sure a lot of you are already thinking about is that when the 2D adventures were originally released, they were in Serapia Forest. And how does that add up with the conspiracy? If we can go to Serapia Forest and then get like a phantom portal there, how does that work? Because as far as we know, the phantoms have never been in Serapia Forest. Well, there's a reason Animal Jam moved that, like 3 days after it started. They moved it into the normal adventure base camp. And yeah, it was probably for convenience's sake, but it does make sense with the lore and the conspiracy, and they may have realized that if they wanted to go along with this theory, they had to change it. And the other big really cool theory that I've gotten a few emails about is actually that there's a huge lost city under there. And listen to me, it sounds crazy now, but this is actually a picture from the early days of Animal Jam, like before it even launched, where they talk about the lands inside of Animal Jam. And notice that there's no lost temple of Zios, it's the lost city of Zios. And nowadays it's the lost temple of Zios. And sure, maybe they just changed it because they were like, yeah, the lost city, it's more of just like a little temple, there's not a bunch of buildings or anything. But maybe the reason it's the lost city and now it's the lost temple is because the city was buried and is gone now. Because I told you earlier, in the beta, there was that monkey statue, right? And so if there was a land under there, well, it would still be there. Well, when the phantoms invade, we see in that video that Zios goes into that place and is now there. But that's where the monkey statue was. So it seems as though the monkey statue got pushed down, as you can see in this diagram by I meant to have sound come out. And so when Zios' mask came down like that, well, it would have pushed the monkey statue down, and maybe everything crumbled down into the land beneath it, and the city was ruined. This is further evidenced by the Basement of Secrets, which, if you actually go through the little area up into the trapdoor, well, you see that you come out into the Chamber of Knowledge, which is part of the Lost Temple of Zios. And if everything fell down and was crushed underneath the Lost Temple of Zios, the only thing that would survive are things that weren't completely underground and actually had connections to above ground and were stable. And if there were lots of buildings and there was a city there, it makes sense that most of the buildings would have been crushed. But if there was a basement, it probably would have held because it had all the above ground things to hold it in place. And so again, the big counter argument on a lot of people's minds, I'm sure, is, well, Julian, if it was a big city underneath, why are there phantoms coming out? Well, first of all, there's no disputing that the phantoms put Zios' mask there when they captured him. That's in the video, we see that, we know that, that's where that mask came from. So it could just be that these are ghosts of phantoms who come out and like haunt Zios or something, but there are a few other ways to explain it that might make a little more sense. Well, maybe when they took this little city, it's possible that the phantoms went down there and, you know, took it for themselves, so they're currently living there, but then we said that it got, like, flooded or crumbled, all the things, you know. Basically, that city's gone because it's filled with, like, dirt and just gravel. So, honestly, I think the phantoms are there for symbolism. Not just that they overpowered Zios, but also for symbolism that's like a commentary on our actual existence as humans. And this is where Animal Jam gets really cool, when they stop talking about normal lore and actually tie it into real life. Well, basically, the phantoms are meant to represent everything that humanity does to the environment that animals and nature try and stop. The phantoms go through and they pollute everything. They have giant phantom fortresses and factories and these awesome things, and they just make more and more and more of themselves, and they will not stop, and they have these giant machines that just pollute rivers and forests and everything, and it's the animal's job to go through and fix everything, but it's hard because the phantoms pollute everything so easily. And so basically this is a commentary on humans as a whole. And I've talked about this in another video, how phantoms are representative of humans, but this Temple of Zios little animation is actually really important, because in order to get the phantoms to show up, you have to sleep. And again, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here and say, well, maybe it's because, you know, the phantoms only come out when you can't see them, but I really do think Animal Jam put a little more effort into that animation than that. There's a specific reason that it's sleeping, and that's because it's representative of the animals are the good guys for the environment. And when they sleep, when they give up, when they're inactive, when they stop trying, well, all of a sudden the phantoms take over, and, you know, destruction, chaos, gloop wins over, and all of a sudden you get phantom goop all over your stuff. And not even Mira's Feather can help you if you don't have someone up there who's like paying attention, watching out for the environment, and is able to stop these things from happening. So basically when you sleep, Animal Jam is making a commentary that you're being passive. You're not doing anything to fix the problem. And so the problem comes to life even in places you have tried to save. You have to keep being active and keep doing what you need to do to make sure that everything is as it should be, and not let the bad goop take over everything. So seriously, this actually does get really deep. Even if Animal Jam didn't mean anything else in this video, I really do think there's symbolism there. And I want to give a huge thanks to Bunny99249 for submitting this idea, because it's really a fantastic one. I've never seen anything like that in Animal Jam, besides just like speculation about like, oh, the phantoms are humans, but it's really cool that they might have actually put in a little commentary on society itself into Animal Jam. So anyways, Beans, thank you so much for watching. You don't have to believe anything in this video. I just hope you learn a little something about the Temple of Zios and what the phantoms could really mean in the end of the day. So anyways, Beans, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.